today's episode, we are sitting down with a woman with the biggest heart, both on and off screen. She plays a character in the Promised Land who certainly is not afraid to make herself known. And today we get the opportunity to meet the real woman behind Shamira. Please welcome Reem Kadem.
Thank you.
Woo!
That means so much.
I always want like an audience clap.
Shamira is arriving now. She will clap.
We're so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Reem, as we've been talking with all of our female casts this season on Women's Hour, our focus has really been on what has your journey to the Promised Land, our show, looked like. How did you get into acting? What has that audition process looked like? And so for you personally, what has that journey looked like?
I started way back in theater. That's where it began for me. And I love theater so much because I feel like the raw nature of being able to just be in the moment, have that kind of electricity with the audience. And I miss it tremendously, actually. But, it's like the practicality of when you're in film and television, you're pursuing your career.
Yeah.
But it took me down a path, from theater, pursuing my very first audition. It was kind of funny. I auditioned for Veronica Mars. I was non-union at the time. Kristen Bell was starring on the show. And I booked the part. And I got my SAG card. And I was Taft-Hartley. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'm just going to keep booking. And the big guy upstairs was like, I'm going to make you work for it now. So
Yeah.
It took me down that path. And I really just felt like this was the journey that I was meant to take. It took me down a lot of auditions, a lot of rejection. And that's what, this industry really teaches you grit. I feel like it teaches you how to really continue to have persistence and believe in yourself and, talk about self-worth and self-growth. And I think you really have to have, this passion and this desire of, it's not about the end result. It's about the journey.
Mm.
And for me, that's been the most beautiful part of it all, is like in the moment of the journey. I think as you evolve, and my fellow actors from the cast, we've talked about this too, is that you kind of get this, like, when you start off as an actor, you want it so much and you have these, desires and feelings and you're like, oh my God, I want to book it. But then you really learn to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you let go, the more things happen for you. So taking you into the world of Shamira and my audition for Shamira, it was interesting. Shireen Khan and I chuckled about it because I auditioned for Miriam originally.
Oh, wow.
And then, and then I also auditioned for either Rebecca or Leia, and then Shamira came in. So it was kind of like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're up for one part, and then you're up for another. And really it comes down to, and we talked about this too the other day in our, sit down with our actors, is that you're auditioning for the room. You're auditioning for the whole show, for other projects, for other roles. So, for any actors that are listening, is never assume that it's just about that part. And it was so amazing because with Shamira, it's like, I didn't think about it in that moment. It was it was a short audition. It was just something and those are the hardest sometimes, right? The compact auditions that you have to take. But never did I think that the expansion of what was going to happen, and then the improv that Mitch allowed on the set, it just manifested into something more, and I'm so grateful. So that took me to Shamira.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I don't think I knew that you first auditioned for Miriam.
Yes.
But I have seen the shuffle of when we're trying to find roles and Mitch will remember somebody else's audition and be like, I think they could fit. Because it's hard when someone is playing a specific persona to think about them in another way. But he can do that really well of I feel like they have this ability to maybe try this other thing. And it's fun to see the card shuffle and kind of be like, well, what does that look like?
Right.
So yeah, I didn't know that about your story, that you were first going for Miriam.
Yeah. He cast it so well. The casting office, Mitch, all of you, just the vision. Every actor is perfectly cast. Truly. I'm so impressed when I see that. So kudos.
Yeah, we're happy you're here.
Yeah. I'm so
we
grateful.
couldn't have a different Shamira.
Thank you.
So moving along into some of our other questions. Thank you, Miriam. I appreciate the scroll. So how does it feel to play a woman in a biblical setting, but through a comedic lens? Obviously, you've acted before. You've done some other roles, but what is this specifically like for you?
Well, what I love about this is that it's not a show about the Bible. It's a show about humanity. It's a show about worthiness, about leadership. And so for me, it's the idiosyncrasies and the flaws of human beings, and how do we all meld? How we're making our way to the Promised Land, and there's so much conflict that arises, and everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be validated. Particularly, I mean, like, Shamira and how she's like overcompensating at times, right? And like with my characters. So I feel like this is never really, when I looked at this, I never thought, oh, this is a show about the Bible. Yeah, they're characters from the Bible, and some are theatrical licensed, like Shamira. But really, it's about, how do we make this work? And people want to matter. In society, we all just want to matter. And I just love how comedy brings us together, and we find a way to laugh about it. We find a way to sometimes cry about it. And I think that that's the beauty of this show, is the thematic element, because I've been a writer myself and I so appreciate great writing like this, is that the theme is so profound. I mean, it's such a universal one that aligns audiences all across the world. So
Yeah, we've heard that a lot from people, that like even if they've never connected with the Bible before, or even if they have connected with the Bible, the show just kind of brings the stories out in a new way, and the characters out in a way that, like, I think you read scripture and it's just like, well, Moses did this, but you don't see the emotional impact of the golden calf, or like breaking the tablets, or all these different things that happen that I think is impacting everyone on a human level, like you said, of like, what was it like to go through this? What do these stories mean? That we hear a lot about the show.
Right. And I think a lot of people sometimes like envision like, okay, biblical times, like it's about perfection. And it's like, on the contrary, it's about imperfection. And it's like, there's so much flaw, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, Moses himself had flaws and had errors, and we learn that so much about his journey, and he's chosen, but at the same time, that's what makes it so profound and so beautiful, because it's relatable. Any person can watch it. And I feel like what's beautiful about this, I mean, it's funny because I was like a mutt growing up. So I went to Catholic school. I had a nun as a principal, but I had a different religion growing up, but I've been spiritual all my life. And it's just like, it really doesn't matter what religion you are watching this show. It's about relating on a human level, heart to heart, soul to soul, mind to mind. Are you human? Yes, you are. So you can relate to this.
Stories still connect.
Yeah. Even with it being a period piece, which I think is really incredible. We lose that sometimes. You talked about your fellow cast members and the humanity that they bring to set, and just how you all are just, you show up every day so prepared. Like, I don't know if we've ever had a day where we've walked away and we've been like, yeah, cast really wasn't on it today. Like every single, even like the stressful big days, we're like, man, like cast showed up ready to go. And so just thinking through those moments that you've had, with the other cast, specifically the women, because our show is called Women's Hour, so we're going to stay female focused. What has it been like working with an ensemble of women specifically? We have so many women characters. They're so unique. And so what is that like? And you all are so unique as individuals too. None of you are the same, and I think that's really cool. And so can you walk us through kind of what that experience is like for you?
Absolutely. Well, I love it because, I feel like every single woman character brings her own unique personality. No character is the same. It's so interesting. It's kind of like Friends is one of my favorite sitcoms.
Of course.
And, I've talked about this with some of the producers, and you guys, like, any character, if you know Monica, Joey, you know exactly like what they're going to say. That kind of personality is going to speak a certain way. And so the same goes for the women. Like, between whatever character it is, from Zipporah to Miriam, etc., they all have a flavor that they bring, and that's so cool. And I think the strength meets vulnerability is so wonderfully powerful, because women bring so much, and I love that you guys are bringing strength to the women in this time, giving them their independence, wanting them to have their own voice, and then it's just this amazing aspect of like the conflict that can arise between what is expected of a woman versus a man. And I think that, ultimately, amid the conflict with the women, there's an empowerment. There's like a brokenness, and then they build themselves up again. And they continue to kind of like find themselves sort of uplifting and then falling apart a little bit, and then uplifting and falling apart. And I find that it's this amazingly, dysfunctional, but wonderfully dysfunctional relationship with each of these women that continues to evolve. And so, I love it. I love it so much.
What is the set culture, set experience like? Like when all of you are all together. We love our women
The
days.
gaggle of women.
We love them. But you know, we get just like an outsider's perspective of watching you all. And so, what is it like to be in there with our female cast members?
I think there's fierce commitment, and I just admire that so much. You know, seeing every single woman on that set as an ensemble, feeling the ensemble first and foremost, feeling the support of that, and then just knowing that there's this just desire to want to give 100% excellence. And thank you for your words that we've come in committed, because it means so much. I can see how much it means to every single woman on that set. I can see how much heart is being brought to this, and you know, just wanting to make sure that, you know, you're capturing it on screen, you know, what's on screen doesn't leave you. So for us, it's like the stakes are high. And, you know, I think, questionably, you know, comedy is, I think, harder than drama, right? So in those moments, you want to hit those punchlines. You want to make sure your timing is right. And so I think it's just, it's funny because I, you know, and I so appreciate it. I think sometimes we think comedy, we can talk, we can be in this, you know, chitter chatter, but sometimes it's about like, oh, I think I do need to stay a little more quiet. And I think we need to preserve our energy. And I think the women kind of have felt like what we need at a given moment, even without speaking it. We kind of have this unspoken understanding of like, okay, she's in her zone right now, or you know what, she's feeling ready to like talk more, and I can talk too. So I like that we have unspoken language.
Do you guys practice a lot offset, like rehearse lines together, or is it more of a like when you get there, you just want to feel the magic of the moment?
That's a great question. I think it varies. You know, I think some of it is a little bit, let's run it, but then don't overrun it, because then you feel like you're rehearsing too much. But I think it's a mix of the two. Sometimes the spontaneity, and Mitch is so awesome about letting us just kind of like fly with some of the improv. Some amazing moments are discovered just like without being on the script. And so I greatly appreciate that aspect, is like in the moment, you can have things arise that are a surprise. So I think it's both. Yeah, I think it's both.
You know, I think we all can look at our lives and there's certain moments or there's certain people who are like, oh, like they were like instrumental in getting me here, or they were instrumental in this period of my life. And so thinking back to your journey that got you here, is there a woman in your life where you're like, oh, without them, I don't know if I would be here, either personally or professionally or spiritually, however you would like to answer that?
So, you know, there's different stages and phases in life. And I think I do want to call out there's, you know, in the early stage of my life, you know, I was actually, you know, bullied a bit when I was a kid. And I think we've all had some form of, you know, different traumas that arise. But may she rest in peace. My fifth grade teacher, her name is Linda. She passed away a few years back. She became one of my best friends in life.
Oh, Linda.
Yeah, in Catholic school. I'm getting emotional. Um, and you know, she really was the beginning phase of teaching me self-love. Um, didn't expect that. Sorry.
No, take your time.
And so, you know, that was a beautiful thing, you know, to see that I was trying to evolve. Here I was, and I was in San Diego. I had moved from the inland area, and I moved to kind of the snooty tooty, like La Jolla, the richer. You know, we upgraded. But, you know, it was like a lot of criticism had hit, a lot of like really just heavy kind of like punches and jabs. And it was a small group of, you know, guys and girls at that age. And it was difficult. I would come home crying often. But what that taught me and is you know, the desire to want to also have tolerance, understand what it is to be in the shoes of others. And I was starting to do like Christmas plays, and I was already starting to want to do all of that at that time, and that was a catapult for me. It took me into, I wanted to go to like San Diego Performing Arts High School. My parents did not let me. Um, and then, you know, I think teachers along the way had influences, you know, from different acting coaches to, you know, different representatives of mine, and you know, God bless my mother. You know, my mother, I love her so much, and like she challenged me throughout my life on such a level. You know, my mom is one of the most gregarious, beautiful, charismatic, like liked women I've ever met in my life. But you know, she challenged me tremendously, and ironically, even though she really did put me to the test with my acting career, I think had she not challenged me this way, it's kind of dysfunctional in its own way and in a profound way. She made me realize how much I needed to do this. And had she probably not tested me as much, I don't know if my strength would have arisen as quickly as it did. I think it actually matured me faster as well.
Yeah.
So I have to thank her for that in an indirect way, even though it was hard at times. So yeah, so call out to her. Linda was a big driving force in my life and stayed my friend for life. Um, uh, One of my, influences too, one of my dear friends is Lainey Kazan, the mom of my Big Fat Greek Wedding. So we've been friends for many years.
No way.
Yeah, and so she's always, yeah.
I love those.
How can you not?
I am not from a Greek family, but boy, do I wish I was.
Yeah, funny film, right? Funny film. I make lamb. But she's had a big influence on me as well, and has had such a profound career, and just has inspired me tremendously in terms of just wanting to kind of follow in footsteps and watch what she's done in her life, and she's really had a great impact on me as well. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Reem, earlier you talked about strong female characters, and so through your career, as you've gotten auditions and you've read a lot of scripts, right? Because at least from what we've heard, that auditioning process is like sending things out into the void, right? Yeah. So I'm sure you've probably read way more scripts than I have. And so like when you've read through those, and then when you read The Promised Land, or as you choose to portray Shamira, what is a misconception that you typically see like for strong female characters in our industry?
Yeah, I love that. So I feel like a strong woman has so many layers to her. And I think that if not executed properly or, looked at properly, people can assume that there's just like a one layer. Like she's strong and there isn't a lot more to her. But I think a strong woman, it takes a lot to reach that strength. It takes trauma. It takes going through setbacks. It takes pain. It takes suffering. And I think there's those layers, when written properly, is like it can come up in that character through different emotions, through different expressions, through different subtext. And so a strong woman comes with vulnerability, comes with baggage. And it's not just here I am and I'm this strong woman, there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
I think that's where that multidimensional aspect comes in, because sometimes a woman is written and it's just more one dimensional, and we can sense that because the backstory or the work wasn't done to really explore the onion, right? Peeling the onion and understanding how much more there is to this person. So I think that there's with strength comes vulnerability.
Yeah.
I love that. I think a lot of strong female characters, like you said, are just, I'm strong. That's what I am. But you don't see what made them strong, and you don't see when they're not strong. And I almost feel like you can see strength more when you see the moments where they don't have it.
Absolutely.
And what it takes for them to get back to strength, or to pushing onward.
And just even with like The Promised Land, I've talked with Shireen about this too. It's like it's amazing how it's like they're overflowing with trauma, right? In the most wonderful.
They were slaves after all,
right? And so the comedy is like it comes from so much of that trauma as well, and it's like you just feel like their pain, their suffering, everything that's happening is just like oozing out of them. And they're trying so much to just express themselves, be seen, be heard, and God forbid if they're not. You know what I mean? So it's like that is the beauty of even just the character, the strength that is brought to each character in The Promised Land, the weaknesses. With strength comes weakness, and it's a yin and yang, because you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You can't reach strength without having gone through so much pain, suffering, discomfort to lead you there. Yeah.
Well, that's what we had. We're really excited for you to jump into this game that we have for you.
Let's do it. I cannot wait.
This is our very special Women's Hour card deck, which is filled with questions about your character, Shamira.
Okay, I love it.
You are allowed to pick any three. We've been doing one at a time. If you would like to pick it up, read and answer for us. Ooh, from the edge.
Yeah, from the edge. Okay. What would your character's go-to karaoke song be?
Oh,
that's hilarious.
This is a good one.
R-E-S-P-C-T. find out what it means to me.
I
Aretha
actually
Franklin.
fully believe that
Right?
she would somehow
She
know
needs
that
her
song.
respect.
Yes.
And then like, give me it to me.
She would do every part.
I love that you just knew it. Like you didn't have to think about it.
Yeah, I think that's so
I do think
Shamira.
she'd have like a choreographed dance as well.
That
she
would be
do.
awesome. I feel like, yeah, I've always thought about this modern day songs that we can apply characters to from the Promised Land. Like, there has to be some sort of music videos later that we explore. This would be too funny. Like, you know, like, I can buy myself flowers in the Promised Land too. Like,
Fully believe we could do that. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I
I
love
feel like
it.
that would go off the rails.
right?
Honestly.
Like, the comments would just blow up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Number
All right.
2.
Number 2. All right, here we go. Let's see. Have you ever had a dream as your character or about your character?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I've dreamt of being on set.
Mm.
I've dreamt of, you know, shooting. And I feel like, if I have to be honest, I don't think I've dreamt of Shamira per se, like Shamira in her element. But I have dreamt of Reem, kind of like being on set, preparing, about to go in. So, Shamira, enter my dream already.
Mm-hmm. Do you have like panic set dreams or like excited set dreams?
I think excited.
Excited,
Yeah.
okay.
Serenity.
Not like that I'm late for call time kind
And
of.
then, you know, and like, you know how sometimes, yeah. You know how sometimes you don't remember all your dreams, but I bet you if I ate too much one night, it's probably like more nightmarish. I just don't remember. But overall, just so much excitement, so much gratitude. Like, from the moment I found out, I mean, I was a mess. I was crying and, you know, like just, you know, it's just beautiful. It's a lot of good. A lot of good. When I think about my dreams on set, it's been positive for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
I have nightmare set dreams. Only that I've like knocked over the camera or something.
No, that's not a good one.
All right. card
Okay,
number
here we go.
3.
Card number 3. Here we go. If your character suddenly time traveled into modern day New York City, how would they react? I literally love New York. So this is really cool to see this. This is like, New York is my heart.
Uh-huh.
So how would they react? I think Shamira would feel like she needs to kind of like fit in. So she might even try the accent, like, forget about it. Let's talk about this and that. She would go try the different food. She would, I think she would ride the bike in Central Park.
Wow.
I think she would, you know, go to the music. You know, I think she would love the Broadway plays. I think that's very Shamira. Like, she would be like, bravo, bravo, like very excited. I think that the lights would be like, Shamira would love the lights. She'd be walking around like there are so many lights. I think she'd be like, this is very strange. I've never seen so many lights in my life. But I think it would fit Shamira because Shamira is so electric. She's so lit up herself, you know? And I think that New York City, that would be fun, actually. I got to do like a little, next time I'm in New York, I'm going to play Shamira and send you guys a clip.
Shamira's like, where am I?
Yeah. I think if anything, Shamira would fit in, but she'd be like a little fish out of water for a second, but then she'd find her bearings.
All right, to bring our time to a close, we have one final question. So if you, as Reem, could only bring 3 things with you to the desert, what would those 3 things be?
Okay, so sleeping bag.
Sleeping bag.
Okay. Phone.
You can have a phone. Yeah.
Sleeping bag, phone, and then portable charger.
Oh, for the phone, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Of course.
I
Yeah.
think those are but then like I don't have food, I don't have water. Oh,
You'd have to bring
no.
those.
Or you'd have to find them.
Oh my goodness. So actually,
Could
I
you
might
find-
need to get rid of the portable charger and bring some electrolyte water. Because I need water more than I need food, and then I got to go look for my food.
Apparently the people out in Morocco, a lot of them can just dig and find water. Like we've seen them do it. Yeah, they'll just be like right here and they start digging. It doesn't take long. They hit water. So I feel like with some preparation, which you don't have for this question, but if you were to have preparation, you could find your own water. I think it's possible.
Fascinating.
Dig, and then who knows? Maybe you find even like fossils and gold.
That's true. You could find anything
all that stuff.
if you're
you
in
know?
the Sahara. Yeah.
That's a very unique question.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how long I'd survive. Let's be honest.
Yeah. None of us would do
grew up
very
in La
well.
Jolla.
Awesome. Well, Reem, thanks so much for sitting
Thank
down
you
with us
so
a little
much,
bit
you
today,
guys.
talking about yourself and letting us get to know you a little bit more. We've been wrapping up every episode with our guests looking at that camera and saying something along the lines of,
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Women's Hour.